Hey guys, Handsome Dave here. So, as I said in my last video, December is Star Wars month. Yay! I absolutely love Star Wars, if you couldn't tell. Star Wars has been a big part of my life, and I couldn't not do a full month dedicated to Star Wars, especially with Rogue One coming out this month, which I will be doing 2 reviews for. I will do one spoiler-free, my traditional, as well as I will be doing a spoiler review. Now, when it comes to Star Wars, it's really hard for me not to spoil something because I get really excited about it. So I will do a professional non-spoiler one, and I will do a spoiler one for the fans that really don't care or people that have already seen it and are really interested in what I think of the full feature. But today I will be kicking off Star Wars month with the top 5 Marvel Star Wars comics to be reading. Now, unfortunately, the Legends series, the original series that was out before Disney bought Star Wars, will not be included in this. It is now under the Legends brand. Maybe next year when I do Star Wars month, I will include that for the top 5 Legends series. But for right now, I'm going to be focusing on the main Marvel storylines that are coming out that you can walk into a comic book store today and pick up. So without further ado, here's my top 5 Marvel Star Wars comic books. Coming in at my number 5 spot, I have ObiWan and Anakin.
ObiWan and Anakin, written by Charles Soule and art by Mark Cicchetto, features the newly appointed Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, as he struggles to train his teenage apprentice, Anakin Skywalker.
This is number 5 because, again, I'm not a huge Clone Wars fan. I am always a Galactic Civil War fan, but I couldn't not pick this up because I'm always interested in finding out backstories. And from episode 1 to episode 2, there's a lot of stuff that's left out. Anakin jumps 10 years and he's basically a teenager. So they left out a lot of exposition there. And I'm actually, when I picked this up, I'm just like, wow, I hope this actually explains it. And it does. But unfortunately, it only goes into a little bit of one mission they have and a little bit of a backstory. It doesn't do a lot of it justice, but it is actually a pretty good read. It shows how defiant and how I guess questioning, I guess the better word to use, Anakin is growing up. And again, you get that from when Yoda says, Yoda and Mace Windu, say that he's too old, and especially too old for the training. And that's the best part about this, is because it comes across in the reading. I highly recommend this, especially for all those Anakin and Obi-Wan fans. It is a really good read. Artwork is beautiful, by the way. Very realistic, but yet what's the word I'm looking for? Very animated. So if you're a fan of the Clone Wars cartoon, this actually would be a very good pickup for you to jump in.
Hello, what have we here?
My number 4 spot is Lando.
Lando, written by Charles Soule and art by Alex Malier, features Lando Calrissian, his faithful companion Lobot, as well as a deadly new bounty hunter, Chinatha Cha.
Now, Lando is interesting to me because I was never a Lando fan growing up. To me, he was always that traitor. Again, like he got Han Solo frozen in carbonite. He sold them out to the Empire, and I know he redeems himself. I know he does redeem himself, but the character himself was okay. He wasn't my favorite. What really got me interested in this, and I know it's gonna seem like I'm a fanboy just jumping on the bandwagon now, is the fact that Donald Glover will be playing Lando Calrissian in the Han Solo solo film. It's just fun to say that. But I picked this up on a whim, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't know what I was going to get into. The cast that they have in this is actually really good. I'm still trying to figure out where this lands, though, because he's already lost the Falcon to Solo. He's going on missions. Now, it doesn't mention Bespin, so I'm not sure if this is before he gets Cloud City or if he loses Cloud City. It's definitely before Return of the Jedi, because they talk about the Empire. The Emperor is still in this too. But other than that, it's actually a really good read. If you're not looking for anything Jedi related or I guess Force sensitive, this is really good. I recommend it. They really do a great job transitioning Lando from the movies to the comic book. So again, this is number 4 for me. At my number 3 spot, I have Star Wars: Shattered Empire.
Star Wars: Shattered Empire, written by Greg Rucka and art by Mark Cicchetto, features the classic cast of the original Star Wars: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, Han Solo, and Chewbacca.
Now, for me, I really like it when comic books continue on from the main storyline. So this one isn't really good. This happens 2 hours after the Battle of Return of the Jedi, after the Battle of Endor, sorry. So after the Death Star blows up, they're having their big celebrations. This goes into the storylines, what happened next? Like, just because the Death Star doesn't destroy doesn't mean the Empire's gone. Like, I mean, yes, the Emperor died, which is great, but there is a huge Empire fleet out there that they got to wipe out now. So yeah, they destroyed the super weapon, they killed the Empire, now they got to go attack the Empire, the remaining Empire forces. This is a really good story because you have crossovers with Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and they're all there, but they also introduce the side of the soldiers. They go into more of the soldier storyline, so what happens to them during these battles, you know, like all the relationships they have, and that's big for me. Like that's one of the reasons why I like Star Wars Battlefront so much, and it's because it's more focused on the soldier aspect as opposed to the Jedi and the Sith and everything, and it's really cool. And this book does a really good job bridging the gap. Now, this is the road to Force Awakens, so you'll actually see some characters that lead into Force Awakens, and it's really cool. I don't want to ruin anything because this is a very good read, and I highly recommend picking up, especially if you like Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. This is a nice little bridging the gap. I mean, it's not really a full bridge, but it's a nice little rocky brook to cross. Let's just say it's good. It's worth a read. So this is definitely number 3. Number 2 spot is the Star Wars standalone title.
Star Wars, written by Jason Aaron and art by John Cassidy, features the classic cast from Star Wars A New Hope of Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, Han Solo, and Chewbacca, as well as featuring Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Star Wars, written by Jason...
This one is actually really interesting. This is a continuation of After A New Hope. So Luke is just learning about the Force. Princess Leia, with her cinnamon bun style hairstyle, is still the feisty, flirty thing with Han Solo, and it just picks off. It kind of bridges the gap between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Like, this is the first time Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader actually go head to head before Empire Strikes Back, and you learn a lot. Actually, there's a lot of characters. Boba Fett's in it. Darth Vader is in it. There's a lot of exposition in here that when you go into Empire Strikes Back, you're just like, okay, this is known, but how do they find this out? Like, how does Darth Vader find out that Luke is his son? You know, it's questions that kind of guess he just knows in Empire Strikes Back, and it's good for story. But when you go back, you look at it, you're just like, wait, how did you find this out? Well, this series actually explains how he found out. It also explains why Luke is pursuing the Jedi arts so much. He goes from the pilot and farm boy from New Hope to a Padawan in Empire Strikes Back. And it's actually really interesting. It goes into a lot of Star Wars lore. It also sets up the movies really well. And so this is my number 2. This is probably one of my top reads of the year, was this book right here.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Taking my number 1 spot today is Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, written by Kieran Gillen and art by Salvatore Larocca, features the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, as he teams up with a rogue archaeologist, Dr. Aphra, a torturous protocol droid, 000, and a murderous astromech named BT-1.
I had to put this one on this list, but the thing is, it is such a good read that it was number 1. It was number 1. That's the only reason why it beat out the actual Star Wars standalone title, was because the writing for this is just unbelievably incredible. Like, it's the writers really stick true to the storyline, the classic the galactic Civil War storylines. And this book series bridges the gap between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, as well as Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, because there's a lot that happens in those. Some between those movies, there's about 3 or 4 years, sometimes almost 7 years that go by, and you're missing that storyline. This bridges it perfectly, because just Darth Vader in general is amazing. Like, he has a side army on, like, just behind the Empire's back. Even, I mean, if the Emperor knows about it, he doesn't hint at it at all in this. it shows how in Empire Strikes Back he has all the bounty hunters on his payroll. It shows how he makes those contacts in this. So it's really cool. It develops an exposition for other movies, as well as, like, just the writing alone is incredible. Like, having access to the source material for this series was amazing, and they put it to good use. Like, it literally feels like you are reading a movie. Like, and this is by far the best read right now for Star Wars. So yeah, guys, definitely number one. If not even if you're a Darth Vader fan, but an Empire fan, I highly recommend this because you see a lot of Empire technology being developed. You also see the rise of Darth Vader / fall of Darth Vader, and you see a lot of side characters you normally wouldn't see in Star Wars, but they're kind of pulling the strings, and it's definitely number one worthy. So there you have it, guys. There's my top 5 Marvel Star Wars reads right now. Like I said, I have another couple of videos coming out this month. I'm thinking about maybe doing top 5 Star Wars video games, or maybe doing a full review of the original 6 movies. So guys, if you're interested in any of those, let me know in the comment section. Always give us a like, always give us a subscribe and a share. And as always, have a handsome day.